Nobody would love a ceasefire more than the Israelis. You saw Richard Engel say the deal would bring home 33 hostages over 40 days. Hamas will not guarantee that the 33 hostages they say they're going to trade are even alive. Hamas will reportedly only agree to release hostages if it includes a permanent ceasefire, meaning Israel surrenders and Hamas gets to stay in power. And that's what this is all about. That's what Hamas wants. But none of those reporters told you that. They just literally took Hamas's words, a terrorist organization, and put them on the screen with zero context about what Hamas is actually agreeing to. Israel has yet to accept peace proposal. Hamas has not agreed to peace either. Hamas has agreed to still controlling the Gaza Strip. That is not peaceful. They promise more attacks on Israel over and over and over again. All weekend on American college campuses, the protesters continued about the Palestinians and people living and suffering in Gaza. Let's be accurate. The suffering in Gaza is awful. Yet the very same people protesting keep parroting the Hamas talking points, and Hamas would love a ceasefire. They'd love a permanent ceasefire. Then they could keep control of Gaza until they break the ceasefire again, because their stated goal is to destroy Israel. The protesters are right, like these, I think, at the University of Michigan. Gaza right now is a hellhole, and the people living there are kept in miserable conditions. So right on for the people protesting on their behalf. Hamas certainly doesn't allow free speech or any kind of protest against Israel. Hamas loves the pictures, and they love the protests, because the world all blames Israel. Israel has yet to accept a peace proposal. It's all on Israel. How about this? Over the weekend, Hamas attacked the main gate into Gaza for humanitarian aid and killed 3 Israeli soldiers. 3 Israeli soldiers were ensuring that aid got to Palestinian civilians, and Hamas killed the Israelis for trying to get aid to the civilians. And the world somehow, all these protesters, the media, blame Israel for the humanitarian crisis. Then Hamas says they agree to Israel surrendering. They call it a ceasefire, and everybody blames Israel for not accepting the deal. That is the Middle East two-step. I lived there for many years. Retired 4-star general, United States Air Force, the 17th Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, General Philip Breedlove is with us in a moment. First, NewsNation correspondent Robert Sherman on duty in Tel Aviv, where it is already early Tuesday morning. I thought what was most interesting, Robert, was the fact that the families of the hostages put out a statement saying not, hey, negotiate with Hamas, but we support the invasion of Rafah.
Yes, that was very interesting here, Leland, as you see in which the way that the temperature has really changed here throughout the day, up and down. It's pretty amazing that we're pretty much ending this day right where we started, in which there is not an agreement between both of these sides. And the IDF says, unless we do get a deal, the Rafah operation is on and will be proceeding as planned. We know that there were targeted strikes that were carried out in the southern portion of the enclave here just a couple of hours ago. There is still that window, though, where Israel says they will be sending a delegation to pick up these talks and try and get a deal across the finish line. But both of these sides are not budging from their main areas of contention and their central demands. And so that's what we're all really focused on here is that those two sides are still not coming together at this hour, and there's no indication that they will. Leland?
Yeah, Robert, you've been doing great reporting. I encourage anybody to follow your Twitter account, subscribe to your newsletter. A couple of quick things just in the past couple of minutes. You may not have been aware when you're up on the roof that the Israeli tanks have now entered the southern Gaza town of Rafah. And you think about, there's the hotel in Egypt where you've got the Qatari mediators, you've got the CIA represented by Bill Burns, you've got the head of the Mossad there all negotiating on this. I'm wondering about the domestic politics in Israel, because Israel is as divided perhaps politically as America is, maybe even more so in terms of the feelings of left and right and everything else. But the pressure by President Biden on Prime Minister Netanyahu, has that in some way brought Israel together domestically, that when they feel this pressure, they now have coalesced around Netanyahu a little bit?
I would say that there's more unity than there was, say, a couple of weeks ago, and that you have started to see that coalescing a little bit, Leland. We always see these videos of the demonstrations taking place, criticizing the Israeli government, calling for any kind of a deal to be made. But what I do detect here is a bit of a silent majority, I would say, in which people very hushedly and quietly say that they stand with the government and their intentions of pushing forward into Rafah because they believe if the job is left undone and Hamas isn't destroyed, a repeat of October 7th is an inevitability. But people don't want to be too outspoken of that because they are very empathetic of the hostage families and the pain that they're dealing with there. So you do see those diverging thoughts here.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.